What is up, YouTube? Halfway Crook here. We have some Vendetta spoilers today. We're going to go through what's been revealed so far. So stick around if you want to know some of the keywords that's going to be used. And if you want to see any spoilers, yeah, let's get to it. So to start it off, we have Ambessa. She was revealed with the T1 set. Basically, I'm pretty sure empower just means you pay that cost and then it's just like a buff, like it just stays with it until it's disempowered, and pretty much stays the whole game unless it somehow gets removed, unless there's some new cards that would remove empowerment. We haven't seen that yet, but you never know. So anyways, so it's 4 no power for 4 might, which isn't bad. um and it basically has 3 energy, 1 power to empower it, and then while it's empowered, it gets +3 might and can't be dealt damage unless it's in combat. So it could just sit on your base, and it can't get hit by any red spells. The only thing that's kind of susceptible to is like purple spells. Like there's a lot of bounce spells, as we'll see coming up. There's a new bounce spell that's also really good. So yeah, and Besta can't get hit by things like Bell's Breath and Falling Star. If you conquer an open battlefield, it can't get hit by Void Seeker, because it's a non-combat showdown. It's pretty good. Really, if you think about it long term, you're paying 7 power, 7 energy, and 1 power for 7 might that can't be damaged by things that when it's not in combat, which is really not that bad. It could be good in like maybe Yi or something like that. I'm really not sure what this kind of deck. It's just a little bit susceptible to bounce spells, but overall, it's not a bad card, I don't think. Next we have Jace. He's a little bit blurry here. I tried to get the best image I could, but it says he's a four energy, 1 power for a 5 might, which is already pretty good stats. It's really not bad. I'm assuming he's gonna have a legend here soon. If not this set, I don't know if it's this set or maybe next set. He'll probably have a legend to go with it. But it says, when I become ready, you may choose one to give me this turn: assault 2, deflect 2, or ganking. So basically, you can play him on your in your base, and then on the next turn he's a 7 might going into the next battlefield. Or if he's already on the battlefield, he has ganking and he can get you another point and hit the other battlefield. Like he's a not bad unit. He's orange, so he already has access to punch first, which is huge. I mean, the card's just busted. um so yeah, but I don't really know when you use deflect too. Maybe if you're like going into a battlefield and he has less might than you already and you just don't want to get hit by a bounce or any sort of damage spells or anything like that. Overall, not a bad card. Can't really see what I'm excited to see what the signature spell is for Jace. Hopefully, it kind of helps this out a little bit, some sort of movement or ready or something like that. But yeah, we'll see how Jace plays out in the next set. The next champ we have is the champion unit's Mel Newly Awakened. 4 energy and a power for it says it's 4 might. You can't see it, but it's a 4 might unit. And it says when you play me, draw one, so already pretty decent. But it has empower for 3 energy, and it says while empowered, your spells and abilities can't be countered, and if a spell or ability you control would give a unit -1 might, it gives an additional -1 might. So things like Stupefy or Eclipse would give -5, Stupefy -2. I think Stupefy is probably the best example because it's such a like good card. Like you play this Stupefy, you're drawing 2 cards and it's -2 might or something. Really good. If this could be good in like maybe a Lux deck. I'm thinking the Infinite Lux combo, where your abilities just can't be countered at all. We'll see how it actually plays out. I don't think it's going to be that impactful for any specific deck. It's just a pretty solid card overall. I can't really see where the spells and abilities can't be countered would be that much of an issue in like standard play. Because I mean, there's no spells that really change the game that are blue right now, besides maybe like a time warp, but you'd need like a wind wall for that. Like it's very niche, sort of like spells and abilities can't be countered. The main counter that you're looking for to negate is defy, I'm assuming, and all your eclipse spells and stupefy and all those little spells like that can get defied. So you're pretty much guaranteeing the combat, or at least guaranteeing that your spell is going to go off. But yeah, overall, pretty solid card. We'll see how it plays out in the next set here. Next card, or next legend, I should say, bringing in some new colors, green red, Calm Fury. It's a Kali Rogue Assassin, and it says, now this part of the text does not need to be empowered. It says action to tap. If it's your turn, move a friendly unit in a showdown to base. That's just static. That's just whenever you want. If it's in a showdown, then you can just move to base if it's your turn. Now, for 3 energy and a power, you can empower it for, I'm pretty sure, the entire game, as far as we know. And it says if I'm empowered while you do the action tap during combat, then you can ready it. So basically, you can go in with a unit, maybe kill something, maybe I don't know, or like bait some abilities or something like that, bait some counter spells or bait some sort of play, some sort of combat action that would tilt into their favor, and then you can just activate this as an action and you go right into the other battlefield if it's empowered, or just like save your unit. Like it's pretty versatile. I'm really glad that Akali is being revealed here, because I used to play Akali back in League of Legends in like 2013, 2012, and that was my main. And yeah, I got to like plat with it or something. And yeah, I got to plat when it was like 2012, 2013, and it was one of my favorite characters to play. It could stealth, it could go invisible, so it really has that sort of mobility aspect, because her ultimate in League of Legends was like a chase down. You could just chase people down wherever, pretty much wherever they were, like within distance. Anyways, I'm really glad to see that Akali Rogue Assassin is being added, and the new colors is going to be bringing some new tech as well. You'll be able to Falling Star and have Defy, which is like two of the strongest spells in the game right now. Besides maybe purple bounce spells, but yeah, this color combination plus this particular action ability on the legend is going to be, I think it's going to be pretty deadly and could make for a really good deck here. So the next card we have that was been revealed today, July 6th, is a Kali Deadly Weapon. Now this unit is actually really good. It's a 3 might unit for 3 energy, which is just incredible. It's just like Diana. You can play it turn 1 if you're going second, and just have this thing out every single turn if you're going second. So it really makes that, closes the gap between first and second play here for this type of deck. And basically it also has Empower along with the Akali Legend, and it's for 2 energy and a power. You can empower it and give it a extra +1 might, which could come in handy. But it also says, when I move, you may deal 1 to a unit at a battlefield I move to or from. If I'm empowered, deal 2 instead. So basically, with the Akali Legend, if we want to pull that up here, with the Akali Legend, you can use the action ability and use that right away to deal 2 damage basically without even taking any damage yourself, and just kill a unit essentially without any combat. Or if Akali Legend is empowered, you can ready it, and then you can deal 3 damage to a unit. You can go in, deal 1 damage there. If both Akalis are empowered, it's 6 damage. If just the Kali Legend is empowered, then it's 3 damage. But it's just 3 free damage that you can get, and with going in with also a 4 might unit. It might be a little bit slow. I think it could be a little bit slow to play with, but it seems like this could be a really good combo if it actually plays out, and you're following starting his early units, maybe defying some things, and then you actually get both Akalis empowered. It could be very much a game changing tech that people put into their decks, and see it go off. And yeah, we'll see what the next champion is here. But this deck could pop off, I think, in the next set. Okay, the anticipated purple yellow Chaos Order legend has arrived. It's Kennen, Heart of the Tempest, and he has a little bit of a niche ability, which is something that was kind of expected because the color combination was so strong. Having access to things like Hidden Blade and bounce spells, you just have premium removal on pretty much anything that he has. Basically, he says when you play a card from anywhere other than your hand, that could be your trash, that could be your deck, or even champion unit. It says empower me, and then it says action, this is an action, disempower me to tap it and give it a unit assault 2 this turn. So basically, if you have maybe like a fizz, you can play a fizz, play something from your trash, empower it. I don't know, maybe ride the win the fizz in with the fizz ability, and also give it assault 2, all in the same swing. And I think that could be really impactful. We'll go through and see the Kennen's abilities. The champion unit was also revealed here. We'll go through that and see exactly how that ties into the legend ability. So Kennen is the champion unit that goes with it. This is purple Kennen. I'm assuming we might get a yellow Kennen also, because that just seems to be the way it is. This Kennen is a 3 energy, 1 power, 4 might unit, which is already pretty good stats. And it has an ability that says when you play me, burn 2, which is basically taking the top 2 cards and from your main deck and putting them in your trash, which kind of fuels the abilities that it has down here. It says when I conquer, give a spell from your trash, flow. And flow is basically like flashback for MTG. If you've ever played MTG, you can play it from your trash for its flow cost, and then you banish it. So basically, you play it for its flow cost, and then you take it out of the game completely. So you basically have to play all of your spells twice if it has flow. And it says it's equal to its cost this turn. So you basically get 2 copies of every spell that has flow in your trash. And I mean, wait till you see the signature spell for Kennen here. It's a little bit crazy. We'll go through it right now. It's actually Lightning Rush, and it's basically a stacked deck. It says look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may choose 1 card and probably put it in your hand. We can't actually tell, and then put the rest in your trash. But it also has flow for 2 energy and 1 power, so you can play this twice and just fill your trash up for like fizz or any cards that want to get things back from your trash. You can basically use it as like a resource. And yes, Fizz can get this Lightning Rush back if you don't want to banish it and just put it at the bottom for basically free, for basically just the Fizz cost. And I don't know if it's going to say you can play the card from the top of your deck or you can just add it to your hand. But basically, if you had 3 stack deck, 3 Lightning Rush, I mean, that's plus 3 Fizz, I mean, that's 9. Plus, if you have flow with Kennen, that's maybe like 10, 11. You could have like a lot of like stack deck type effects in your deck. And it could just pop off and get crazy, or you just deck yourself. Or you could just another miracle version where you just get exactly the cards you need. Or maybe you want to run Nocturne and you just have every time you reveal a Nocturne, you can just play it for 1 power, and that also activates your Kennen ability. And so then you can empower them and give them assault 2. There's a lot of things you can do with this card here. It's really good. I think it is a little bit of a busted card. We'll see how it plays out. But purple yellow chaos order here is just going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think, in the next set. The next card in the set is kind of a big stompy guy. It's up there with like Mind Splitter. And it's in purple. It's called Ocean Drake, and it says it's for 8 energy and 2 purple power, and you get a 7 might unit. And it says you may play me to an open battlefield. That's already like sneaky deckhand type material, but it's just massive. When you play me, you may return a non-dragon unit to its owner's hand. So that could be your unit or your opponent's unit. And I think this could be like a really big tempo play if they just made a big play and have like a big Mbessa and they just empowered it or something, and you just want to just bounce that, get rid of it, keep the tempo up, play it to an open battlefield, get a point. I mean, this card could swing games, I think, pretty substantially if played right. It's not going to be crazy OP. It's pretty tempered. It's okay. Because it's only a 7 might unit, which is it's pretty substantial, but I can't see it being much more than just a tempo type of play. Maybe for like a game swinging opportunity, for that 8th point, that conquer point or something, or just like if you play it at the other battlefield, you could bounce something on the first battlefield, and that could also help swing in for that 7/8 point. All in all, it's a pretty good card. I think it'll see some play in maybe like a bounce deck. There's a lot of bounce cards this set. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Now this card, I think it's pretty okay. I don't think it's amazing. I tried to cut out the Instagram stuff there, but it says for 3 energy and a power, it's called Shadows of the Past. It looks like a Zed is or a Zed clone or a Shadow clone or something is just sitting in there, and it says return up to 2 units from trashes to their owner's hands. So you could pick your opponent's stuff with this. I don't know how relevant that would be. If maybe he has maybe some sort of the Harrowing type of deck or last rites, and he wants to play something from his some big creature, big unit. Um, but but you're just gonna return it to his hand. I don't know what the tech would be for that exactly for returning your opponents, but you can definitely return your own, say your Kennen that you accidentally milled with his ability when you play him, or somehow one of your main units that you need for a combo or something got put in the trash. Well, now you can just return up to 2 units and put it in back right back in your hand and keep it coming. I guess basically with the units. I mean that's how you win games is with units, right? So, I mean spells too, I suppose. But you need conquering, so you got to win with unless you're a Lux combo deck, of course. But yeah, this one's pretty good to keep the fire coming if you're up against some sort of control or something and your units are getting wiped off the board and you're down low on resources or something, or if you just have a deck that fills your trash up with units and you want to use it more of a resource, I think this is something that could definitely see some play in the upcoming set. Now this card is a bit of a sleeper. It's 3 energy and a power, and it's a spell that has action. It's called Wind and Ghosts. It says choose a unit at a battlefield. If it has 3 might or less, banish it. Otherwise, return it to its owner's hand. So it can be defied. It can be defied. Just keep that in mind against green decks if you're playing this card. But it's basically instead of 1 power for rebuke, it's 1 energy for larger units. Otherwise, it's just getting rid of it immediately. Like I feel like this card is actually a sleeper and could be really good. The only drawback is that it only hits a battlefield. So I mean, Starcross could also still see some play because it can hit on the in the base, and you also get to bounce one of your units. You gotta kind of have a deck that revolves around that type of thing, where you want to bounce your units to get that in play effect again. But this card could just, I mean, it's basically like a rebuke, but you get to ramp a little bit harder. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing against green. It might be a little bit worse because it can get defied. But against most other decks, this card could just be a complete blowout if you're in combat and have a big sand soldier or something, and you just wind and ghosts and just bounce that thing right back to their hand or basically off the board if it's a sand soldier and just clean up on the board essentially. Really good tempo piece, I think. Good for early game, obviously, because if it's 3 might or less, just destroys LeBlanc. Just crushes LeBlanc. LeBlanc's just been getting the shit out of the stick recently. With these cards like Gust and Wind and Ghosts. I mean, like Starcross. I mean, all these cards just destroy LeBlanc to the water when she tries to conquer a discard a card. Um, but yeah, this card's definitely going to see some play, I think, and in these purple decks, and it can also be fizzed, so you can just keep it coming with the wind and ghost and just bouncing their creatures, their units. I mean, like it could be ridiculous. We'll see how it goes. The next card that we have on the list is Nasus Ascended. This is a beefy boy here. Uh, 8 energy, 1 green power for an 8 might unit. It has Deflect 2, which is huge, and Empower 8. I don't know if you can see that. It's a little bit blurry. It says it has Empower 8, and it says when I conquer you, and the finger is there. We can't see what else it says, but I'm assuming it's gonna. It kind of looks like an S. So you can see kind of the rounded top there. I'm assuming it says you score 1 or 2 points. Probably I would hope it says 2 points just to make it sort of more viable because it's so susceptible to like bounce spells. Even if it has the deflect too. I think the 16 energy cost to get this thing rolling is going to be pretty hefty. So you might want to, unless you have defies ready or some sort of counter play to the bounce spells or the call of the weeks or hidden blades or any sort of removal. I don't know how good this is going to be. It definitely doesn't say you win the game, because that would just be busted. Like, people would just be running that every day of the week and just a bunch of counter spells and just trying to get to that play of the game and just win on the spot. So it definitely doesn't say win, but score a couple points. I think a little bit of bonus points is going to be good, because this is a very slow card, very, very slow card. And it's only when you conquer. So you have to do it in a 2-turn sequence. You have to play the Nasus on your base and then empower it the next turn. And your max have 9 runes, so you have 1 up maybe. And it's just not looking too good. I can't really see this getting too much play unless it's maybe in, I have no idea, a Kali maybe, where it can just kind of bounce back and forth between battlefields and bait things out, or maybe Emperor's Divide to try and conquer more, or I really don't know. But this card, it's a fun card. It's definitely a fun card. If you see it in your pre-release, definitely consider it. I would say, because it's just so beefy. It's hard to get rid of, and the deflect 2 also helps. But yeah, we'll see this in the next coming set here. And the last card that we have for the reveals of July 6th is Riven Shattered. And she has Weapon Master. It's a 3 energy. She has Weapon Master, 3 energy, 1 power for 3 might. And she has Weapon Master. And it says, when I attack, choose an enemy unit here, probably at this battlefield is what it means. And it says, deal 2 to it for each equipment attached to me. So, I mean, hopefully you have minimum 1 here with the Weapon Master. I can't really tell what kind of deck this might be into. Hopefully they have some pretty good gears coming up in this next set, because I am running Azir, as it's the cheapest, most competitive deck that I could build on my part of the Canada here. But yeah, this could see some play in Azir to maybe get rid of a big unit, to just move it out of the way and try to conquer something. Kind of like a Vi, sort of, where it just can stun something and just like immobilize it, kind of take it off the play of the game there, so you can conquer and get back into your game. Um, but yeah, I can't see this being too. If it was just 3 energy for the 3 might and not the power, I think this would be a lot better. But I suppose you're making up for it with the Weapon Master, because you don't have to pay a power to equip it. But I can't really see it. Maybe with like Spellsonger, you could do a lot of damage. That would be what, 4 damage with just Spellsonger. Um, yeah. Now that I think of it, actually, Akali would be really good with the Spellsonger. If you want to go back to Akali here, um, let's just go back. Going back to Akali. So Spellsonger on Akali, because it is a green-red. It says, when I move, you may deal 1 to a unit at a battlefield, or move to or from. So basically, if you have the Akali and the Spellsonger, you can deal, if they're powered, you can deal like 8 damage to 2 in. No, you could do 4 in, 4 out, and then 4 back in with the Spellsonger. So that's 12. So you could do 12 damage if everything was set up perfectly, but yeah, I doubt that's gonna happen. I doubt it'll really see any play with that. But you just never know, right? I mean, somebody might come up with a crazy deck and just be able to find something, some hidden tech or something like that, that just changes the whole landscape of the battlefields in Riftbound. But anyways, that's gonna conclude our pre-release, or our spoilers here for July 6th. If you're interested, just give us a like and a subscribe, and comment what you think your favorite champion unit or legend or card is in the unit so far. I'm gonna have to say Akali for me. She's looking really fun with the movement. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you, boys. See you later.